Hey guys, Sith Lord 310 here with a new video, 7 reasons why episode 2 sucks or just doesn't make sense. Now, it's going to be a complete bash on episode 2, but eventually I will make videos defending the prequels because I do enjoy some aspects of them. Reason number 1, there's a bounty on Padme's head, but for some odd reason, the best bounty hunter in the galaxy, Jango Fett, decides to hire someone to kill his contract. And then Zam Wessel, he uses a droid that drops some caterpillar-looking things into her room, instead of just launching like a freaking grenade and killing her. And then, not only that, Obi-Wan comes out, jumps out the window, holds onto the droid, and then it leads to some really cartoonish-like chase scene. Reason number 2, Anakin is weird, creepy, whiny, and just straight up annoying in this movie. He throws tantrums like a child. He scares Padme and probably the audience with his whole creepy stalkerish stares. The love story is completely forced down your throat. You just horrible chemistry and horrible cheesy lines between the two that are very unbelievable. With stuff like "I hate sand," it's coarse and rough and irritating, and it's everywhere. And then stuff like "You're exactly the way I remember you in my dreams." That's creepy stuff, Anakin. That's not stuff you tell a girl. Just the way he just poses some weird vibes when he's with her. I would be so uncomfortable if I was her. Number 3, we did not need Boba Fett in this movie. Like I said in the first video, not everything has to connect between the two trilogies. I do not want to see Boba Fett, a young Boba Fett here, smiling and laughing every time his dad did something bad or evil. It's pointless, and it's clearly just there for fan service, even if it was bad fan service. Number 4, the mystery of Sifo Dyas. It gets brought up with the whole clone army that he issued the proclamation to make the clone army before the Clone Wars even started. You get intrigued into this whole mystery of who is Sifo Dyas, why did he do this, and then the movie just completely dumps this storyline. You don't really get any more information about it. It seems like it's gonna be a big plot point, and then it just gets dropped. You have to watch the Clone Wars cartoon to actually understand what happened. 5. Yoda fighting with the fucking lightsaber, man. I hate this. Just plain and simple. To me, Yoda is supposed to be a powerful being with the Force and only the Force. Judge me by my size, do you? See all these lines that Yoda. You think Yoda is so powerful with the Force, but he uses a lightsaber. And one of the things that bothers me the most is that he uses a cane to walk in the movie. But then when he fights Count Dooku, he's jumping around like a freaking cartoon character. I know he's CGI, but yeah, he's still a cartoon character. 6. Anakin and Obi-Wan's relationship is just not as lacking in every aspect. Anakin is so unsure and so bipolar about his feelings towards his master. At one point, he hates him, and at the other point, he thinks he's a good master. And remember, this is just different parts of the movie. It doesn't make sense. He switches from back and forth. What's wrong? Do you not can you not make up your mind about about your master, how you feel about him? If you think he's a good master or bad master, it's not that hard to choose one. And I just don't see how old Ben in episode 4 can see him as a good friend. How he can look back and say, "Your father was a good friend." I know that's not the actual line. Don't criticize me. Paraphrasing. 7, again, this is just going to be some quick fire shots of a bunch of things I think do not work in the movie, or I just think are unnecessary. Most of it just feels out of place. The story just feels sloppily put together. The acting overall is okay by most of the characters and most of the cast. Some actors gave great performances, but most did not. It feels like a cartoon with some of the ridiculous characters that we get in this movie, like some of the Kaminoans from Kamino, Dexter Jester, fucking Death Sticks, the Death Sticks guy. I know he has a name, Elino Sleep some weird name that doesn't need to be said because this guy's pointless. The overuse of CGI is even heavier in this movie. Heavier. It makes the actual actors look out of place in some scenes. That's how much CGI there is. The movie tried too hard to be the Empire Strikes Back of this trilogy, and it failed horribly. Just really horribly. Some of the things that don't make sense. Obi-Wan tells Anakin, Jedi have no possessions, no attachments to anything. And then he tells them in the beginning of the movie, this lightsaber is your life. This weapon is your life. Don't lose it. Like, what? You just said Jedi have no attachments. You just... What? It doesn't make sense. Contradicting information in the same movie. The Jedi feel like a complete... All the Jedis look like you're on God mode on a video game. Taking out the minions like nothing. The battle droids are so stupid and pointless. They're just there just to be cut up by the Jedi. The conveyor belt scene in this movie is completely random. It feels completely out of place and out of context with the rest of the movie. It feels like this literally feels like something ripped out of a video game. And if it just doesn't make sense and it didn't need to be here. Mace Windu has a purple lightsaber. But why? This makes no sense. I know he is the the master of the Jedi Council, second to Yoda. But why would the second in charge have a different colored lightsaber, but not not Yoda? That doesn't make sense, and I don't. There's no logical reason behind this other than Samuel Jackson wanted to find himself in the big fight scene at the end. Stupid and really just destroy the whole meaning for the lightsaber's color. Yoda speaks normally at points. This is something small, and I know it's nitpicking, but Yoda's famous for his speaking backwards, and yet he's speaking normally in a lot of parts of the movie. All CGI clones. The clones look awesome. I'm not gonna lie, they look really cool. I loved the clone trooper toys as a kid. I was a 501st clone trooper for Halloween when I was like in 4th grade. But you could obviously tell they're not there, and they just look absolutely fake. They don't look like actual physical beings. The final fight scene with the lightsabers and Anakin, Obi-Wan, Count and Yoda just looks ridiculous. It just really does. Compared to Episode 1 with Darth Maul, Qui-Gon, and Obi-Wan, so it just looks like they try to make it look more realistic, but they tried too hard. How could a youngling solve a mystery that Obi-Wan could not? That's what bothers me. Obi-Wan cannot figure out this simple mystery, and then this fucking random youngling finds the answer. Why is Watto even more racist, much more racistly stereotypical in this movie than the first one? You would think it would have lessened. Did we have to connect everything with the original trilogy? The young Boba Fett, the Death Star, Uncle Owen, and Aunt Beru. All this stuff is unnecessary, and again, it's just forcing it together when it doesn't need to be that way. Not everything has to connect, and that's okay. And then the arena scene in Geonosis would have been cool. It would have been cool to see all these. It was cool to see all these Jedi, all together fighting. But the real point is, and the whole gladiator thing with the weird alien creatures, it would have been cool if I cared for any of the characters. But the truth is, I didn't care about any single of these characters. I didn't care about Obi-Wan. I didn't care about Anakin. I didn't care about Padme. Just because the way the movie presented them, I didn't care about these characters. They were flat, unlikable, and really one-dimensional. The only one that was somewhat interesting that I actually genuinely cared about and was Obi-Wan, and that wasn't that much. Overall, the love story in this movie just takes it all and forces it down your throat with the fact that these two love each other. It doesn't really flow together. The story is just boring, and this movie is just boring. It's not as boring as Episode 1, I will say that, but it's still boring. So yeah, guys, this is my review. Not really review, but just a bash on Episode 2. I honestly give it a 6 out of 10. That's pretty much it, guys. Hope you guys liked this video. I have to ask you guys, what makes Episode 2 bad for you? Comment below and let me know. Also, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at SifLord310.